Sabah everybody and welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the OKAI NEON Electric Scooter. This is an electric scooter from a company called OKAI, and one of the big customizations that we get in here, on top of the fact that it has a nice lawn deck, 9-inch pneumatic tires there, we have a lot of functionalities with the power that we have in here, up to 15.5 miles per hour, and the ability of going up to 25 miles range. So it's definitely a large battery, large deck, suspension, customizable LEDs, and of course also LED customizations within the application that works with this scooter. This is TK and this is my review of the OKAI NEON Electric Scooter. Let's check it out. Now before we go too far, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel in case you'd like to know more about our videos and of course to be notified whenever they come out. Today, we're going to focus on the Neon scooter from OKAI. First and foremost, this is definitely a very inclusive system. You get everything that you need in the box. Setup is pretty straightforward. They include a wrench. They also include an inflation tube in case you want to be able to reinflate the tires. The tires are 9-inch pneumatic tires that are going to be able to support us on both the front and on the back. And we actually have some nice suspension on the back set up around the actual tire in the back. We have a light in the back as well as a small light in the front that you're able to turn on. An LCD display that's present at the top of the bar, of course, control handles, an acceleration button, and it helps us also control the ability of just basically staying stable when we're going all the way up to 15.5 miles per hour. And that's obviously with a little bit of a push, although you're able to customize some of that experience directly within the app if you wanted to just kick off by itself, or do you basically push off a little bit and then give it power for it to start so that you don't accidentally start by yourself. The unit that I have is the white one, although there are two colors, a black and a white one. And I like this one because of the customizations that we get. And of course, it stands out a little bit more because of the white color. We have an RGB bar or an LED bar that's present directly in the actual beam that's holding the handles. And of course, right under the battery on the bottom. A kickstand on the left side and a connector for charging on the right side. And of course, it's pretty straightforward with the application. You just need to turn it on, pair it directly into the OKAI application, and it'll bind to that app. One thing I will say though, if you ever do decide to sell your scooter or give it to somebody else in the family, make sure you unbind it before you give it to them so that they're able to bind it to their account. There is a limitation so that if somebody, let's say, picks up or finds your scooter, you're not able to just set up a new account with OKAI and start using it. You need to be able to figure out where things are. But as far as setup within the app, it's pretty straightforward. Learns exactly where you are. You're able to customize and check on any kind of firmware updates. You're also able to do a health check on the actual system, make sure everything is running perfectly. You're also able to see your recent runs, or well, not runs, but your recent trips. How much distance did you go? How much battery did you use? And of course, a little bit of a Google Maps trace of telling you where and how you actually were able to do that entire distance. I did it a couple of times and have used it actually for nice long drives for about maybe 3.1, 3.2 miles from my home. And it was perfect. It was nice. It was definitely done on a hot day as you're looking at some of those pictures. But the biggest thing here, because of the speed that it's able to go, I was actually staying cool because of the airflow and everything like that. It was definitely a very nice, very enjoyable ride. The suspension is very nice. It's decent, but it's not like without you're not going to feel the bumps on the road. It's not as jerky as some of the other options on the market that typically skimp out on the actual suspension configuration there. Now, the fact that we have a lawn deck, the ability of charging the battery between 0 to 100% between 5 to 6 hours is actually very nice. We have an indicator at the top of the bar that gives us the percentage of the battery and how much we have. The app also lets us know if regardless of how much basically percentage you have, it'll let you know what the actual remaining distance it's projecting to be able to actually give you with that range. So you're never really left without having all that information. Unfortunately, that information is not present without the app on the phone, so you do need to download that. They do include an NFC key, which you could use to turn on and turn off the actual scooter, which is definitely very nice. There is a power button that enables you to turn on the scooter, but it doesn't unlock the scooter. So you're able to basically lock it and nobody's going to have any problem basically. Well, you won't have any problem for somebody else to pick it up. Now, when it comes down to the weight, it's not a light scooter, but it's definitely not on the heavier end. It's about 35.2 pounds. The overall configuration is very straightforward. Once you bring it down, it locks itself in that position. You're able to lift it from the bar. And to unlock it, you need to go into the handle at the bottom of that bar to be able to unlock it, put it in the top position, and lock it back in that position. And it's always very nice, and you also have the ability of configuring and knowing exactly if it's locked in or not. There is a small LED light that's present at the top by pressing the power button once, and that gives you the ability of turning it on. If you double press the power button, you're able to switch from one mode to another, from energy saving to normal to fast. And that's something you can do on the fly. You don't need to turn on the app, although the app allows you to do that. The app also allows you to change the LED colors on the front, and as far as the ambient charging, there's a whole bunch of different things you can do within the app. It's very nice. Just again, keep in mind, binding it requires you to have a recent Android or iOS device and downloading the OKAI app directly from their respective Play stores or app stores. So at the end of the day, after using it for about a week and a half now, how do I think, or what do I think about the OKAI scooter? Overall, I like the configuration. I like the fact that it has a nice long deck. Now that unfortunately makes it to be a little bit taller than most other systems. So depending if you're looking for something to be able to put in the trunk of your car, this is not going to have any problem, but it will probably take a good diagonal position. At least for me in my Model 3, I had to put it diagonally in the trunks for it to actually fit in there. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, as far as power and performance, overall, I've been really surprised with how well it performs. It's able to handle me entirely, and I will say this, I'm a little bit over the 220-pound limit requirement, so that's something to keep in mind, but it was able to carry me and it ran pretty nicely. I was able to reach the 15.5 mile speed requirement that it was telling us. Although the meter goes all the way up to 18, it never really goes above 15.5. That's literally what you need to expect. So if you get one and you notice that it's not maxing out to the opposite side, it's kind of like a car gauge, right? They say that we can do 160 miles an hour, but a car never really goes that far. We never have to use it there. As far as inclines, I was able to go on up to a 45-degree incline, not a problem. It wasn't as fast as when we're going in normal mode, but that's expected because, again, there's weight and there's an incline. The motors were definitely very nice, or the motor on this is definitely very strong. The overall performance was so nice that I never even have to put my foot on the ground, so it continued to go as I'm showing you with this clip, and it really was very nice. In my area, we have access to what they call paseos, which essentially are little small driveways for bikes and scooters and walking that are off the road. So I'm able to actually go to different places in my town without ever actually setting foot on the road or even on a sidewalk. So it's definitely very nice, and this fit my environment perfectly. So for little things, if I want to just go down to the post office, want to be able to do things without having to take out my car, waste energy, it's pretty straightforward and very nice. The weight on this is a little bit heavier, so just keep that in mind, but you're able to run it with like any scooter. So if you're going into the store, you can run it with you. You can carry it. It's not super bulky, but it is something to keep in mind. So I do want to say, first and foremost, thank you to my buddy Juan Carlos for allowing me to basically do this review for you guys. We were able to work out an agreement between the two of us. And at the end of the day, this is definitely a very fun scooter. This is something that's very cool. If you're into it and you want to be able to enjoy longer rides without having to basically exert any energy, literally all you have to do is balance yourself. And the nice long deck that we have and the 9-inch pneumatic tires in there are very nice and very comfortable, and the suspension is very good. My hope at the end of the day is that you found this video helpful and you give the OKAI electric scooter, or the Neon electric scooter, a chance. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. I'll see you in the next video.